So this page, problem number 4 says from a hot air balloon 2 kilometers high, the angle of depression to 2 towns in line with the balloon are 81.2 and 13.5. How far apart are the towns? So we first know that we have a balloon, and we'll write 2 here. And it says that we have angles 81.2 and 13.5. Now, if we went like this, and we had an angle of depression, right? If the balloon looked out and then it swung down 81.2, then we know that inside we would have 81.2, right? And if we had the balloon here and the other angle of depression was 13.5, this is here, then right here would also be 13.5. So now if we put it all in one triangle, we have the balloon, we have 2 here. I know that the closer I am to the balloon, my angle of elevation is going to be, the angle of elevation is going to be larger, right? So I know that my 2 options are 81.2 and 13.5. I know that the one closer is 81.2 because I have to swing my head up higher, and farther away is the smaller one, 13.5. So we have town A, town B. That's all the information we have. We don't know the distance between town A and B, so we'll call that X. We don't know the distance from B to the base of that balloon, so we can call that Y. When you have 2 triangles inside, when you have 2 triangles, let's write 2 different equations. So I'm going to pretend that all I see is this big red triangle right now, where the base would be X and Y. Over here it's a 2 and 13.5. And I'm going to create an equation. If I circle 13.5, I have the opposite and adjacent. So I'm going to use TOA, right? Tan, TOA. So I'm going to say the tangent of 13.5 degrees is equal to the opposite over its adjacent. Now I'm going to draw another triangle. I know that this angle right here is 81.2, this is 2, and this is Y. So the tangent of 81.2 is 2 over Y. Just like we talked about before, we have 2 equations, we have 2 unknowns, right? X and Y. So we make our 2 different equations, and then we'll use substitution. So we need to isolate one of the Y's. Let's isolate the bottom Y because it's less messy. So we'll multiply both sides by Y. So then we have Y times the tangent of 81.2 equals 2. And then we divide by tangent of 81.2. So then we know Y equals 2 divided by the tangent of 81.2. And now we can do a substitution, right? So we're going to take 2 over tan 81.2 and we're going to substitute into the other equation's Y spot right in here. And now we'll have tan of 13.5 degrees is equal to 2 over X plus 2 over tan of 81.2. And when we simplify, we'll come down here, we'll have the tangent of 13.5 is equal to 2 over X plus 0.31 because 2 divided by tan of 80, 1.2 is 0.31. And then from there, we'll multiply both sides by the denominator, quantity x plus 0.31. So then we'll have x plus 0.31, that expression, that quantity, times the tangent of 13.5 is equal to 2. You can distribute. So we have tan of 13.5, right? Tan 13.5, that's some value, some number itself if we plug it in our calculator. That number times x plus tan of 13.5 times 0.31 is equal to 2. Then, if we put this in our calculator, I have tan of 13.5 times 0.31 is about 0.073. Tan of 13.5 is 0.24, so here we have 0.24x plus 0.073 is equal to 2. If we subtract 0.73 from both sides, we would have 0.24x is equal to 2 minus 0.073, which is 1.27. Take that back. I'm supposed to do 0.073, so it's 1.927, and then if we divide that by 0.24, we'll get 8.02. And so that's our final answer. That's the x, the distance between the two towns. And then the very last problem. Okay, we're traveling across a flat land. You notice a balloon directly in front of you. The angle of elevation to the balloon is 4.7 degrees. After you drive 400 feet closer, the angle of elevation is 12. Approximate the height of the balloon. Okay. So this is like the one we did earlier in class. You're traveling across flat. It's the one like the dune problem. So we notice a balloon directly in front of us. So here's a balloon. I'm hanging out here. This is where I am initially. And I notice that the angle of elevation is 4.7 degrees. So if I go like straight away and my eyes swing up, then right in there, that's 4.7 degrees. Then it says I walk closer towards the balloon and I stop, and I've walked 400 feet closer. When I stop at that point, I then decide to look up again. So I look straight, my eyes swing up, and in that little spot, it's 12 degrees. That should make sense because as you get closer, the angle of elevation is going to get larger because you have to swing your head up farther the closer you get. So we don't know this little sliver we can call x. We don't know the height of the balloon. Approximate the height of the balloon. So we want y. So we have our two triangles, so I'm going to draw two different pictures and come up with two different equations. So first, I'll do the big one. So we know that's y, we know that's 400 plus x, we know this is 4.7 degrees. So I'm going to use tangent because I have opposite and adjacent. So I'll do tangent of angle 4.7 degrees is equal to opposite over adjacent. And then I'll draw another triangle, and this will be 12 degrees, x, and y. So the second one is right in here. I'll do tangent of 12 degrees is equal to y over x, tan opposite over adjacent. Same thing as before, we have two different equations. We need to isolate y from one of them, do substitution and solve. So I'm going to isolate y in the bottom one. So I'm going to multiply both sides by x. So we know y is equal to x times tan 12 degrees. I'm going to do a substitution. I'm going to substitute this into the y in the other equation. So now we'll have tan of 4.7 is equal to x tan of 12 degrees over 400 plus x. Now we'll multiply both sides by that denominator, the quantity 400 plus x. Cancels here and here. So on the left, we'll have the 400 plus x quantity times the tangent of 4.7 is equal to x tan of 12 degrees. I'm going to put these values in my calculator and see what tan of 4.7 is. So we'll say that this is about 0.08. Over here, tan of 12 is 0.21, so 0.21x. I wrote 0.21 because tan 12 is 0.21. Now I'll distribute the 0.08 to 400 and x. So we have 400 times 0.08, so we have 32 plus 0.08x is equal to 0.21x. We now are going to get our x's on one side, so we'll subtract 0.08x and we'll get 0.13x. We'll divide 32 by 0.13 and we'll get x is about 246 feet. So that would be right in here. And did it ask us for that? So let's see. It says approximate the height of the balloon. Okay, so we're not done. So we have that. Now we want the height. We really want y. So we can go back to any equation. I'm going to go to the bottom equation. And I'm going to go to right here, and I'm going to insert 246 into the x slot. So I'm going to do y equals 246 times the tangent of 12 degrees. And when we do that, we get about 53, so approximately 53 feet. That's the height of the balloon.